It's my pleasure to share with you today a little bit about what God is doing at Victoria Point Baptist Church. Located in the beautiful coastal suburb of Victoria Point, just 33 kilometres southeast of Brisbane in Redland City, Victoria Point Baptist serves amongst a community of over 15,000 residents that consists of young families through to seniors. Victoria Point Baptist Church serves with a passion for making Jesus known and has a heart for raising disciples who love and follow him. This is a story of how the team at Victoria Point Baptist are investing in the next generation by empowering young people with leadership skills that this generation can use in both ministry and everyday life. Now, let's hear from some of the dedicated team as they share how they are impacting the lives of families and young people in their area. Enjoy.
I'm Sam, Senior Pastor at Victoria Point Baptist Church, and this is a bit of our story. Here at Vicky Point, we're a church of a whole broad spectrum of different generations of ages, and that's what makes our church somewhat special. There's a healthy spread of all ages, and there's a beautiful community here. There's a genuine sense of belonging, genuine sense of feeling accepted and loved, and where this community at Victoria Point is largely a retirees community with a few schools, and we're just really privileged to be able to have high engagement with lots of young people, lots of families, and we're just seeing God at work and moving in incredible ways here. We've got a whole variety of different ministries that happen here at Vicky Point. And one of the success stories, I suppose, that we are seeing is our Big Arvo program, which is our Friday afternoon program, and it's for grades 3, 4, 5 and 6. And it happens straight after school till about 5:30, and we feed the kids. They get afternoon tea, they get dinner, it costs them $5. We play games, we have great community, and we introduce them to the concept of Jesus, but it's done in a concept of love. And that's probably the strength of Big Arvo, is that we accept people just as they are. We love them for who they are, and we want them to know that they belong before they believe. And that's the base premise of Big Arvo program, is that we love first. And that's been the platform of a tremendous engagement with our local schools as well.
Well, hello, I am Emily, and I am the chaplain at a local state school. And I also happen to be married to Sam. So Sam is senior pastor and he is my husband, so yeah. There is a big, strong connection between the church and the school of church wanting to serve and just genuinely wanting to connect and help. So something the church offers is food hampers. We have a food pantry, and many of our families, times are tough. People are feeling the pinch, the financial pinch. So from that, there are families who will express concerns, express a need, and they'll be placed in contact with me. And so that's when I say, hey, I can connect you in with some free pantry food, and from that we can connect them in with the church as well. And often these are families because that come through Big Arvo, not always, but there is that build over of connection that we see between the church and the school, and the amount of kids that then come into Big Arvo because they're wanting to connect in and they're wanting a social connection. So there is a lot of crossover in just that one element. We have seen, I'd say the big connection for a lot of these young people is the social connection though. And they're building these friendships at school, and then they want to do something outside of school, and Big Arvo is a natural and easy way for families to be able to navigate that space. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
One of the main things that we sought to implement early on was a slow burn approach to evangelism and outreach. It's a slow cooked discipleship. We don't want to rush it. We don't want to create instant 2-minute noodle converts. We wanted people to grow in love of Jesus, to grow and connect and come to know him, and to have a legacy of faith. And so with that approach, we started to look down the barrel of, okay, what do we need as a church to be able to carry and to journey and to develop people on their faith walk. And one of the striking things that came to our attention is there's a shortage of leadership, in our community, both in our church and external. And if we're thinking, the message of Jesus, how does the message of Jesus get out into our community? We're going to need a pipeline of leaders to be able to take it and to spread it and to be the messengers of Jesus. And so I did a 2-year Arrow leadership program, and came back really inspired and felt equipped and felt like I had something to contribute. And so we really dumbed down that leadership model into a year-long leadership program for kids, and we call it our Grey Shirt program. And we've currently got 29 young kids in grades 7, 8 and 9 that come along each Friday, and we do leadership modules at their level, and then they get to lead inside the Big Arvo program. So we're creating a space that they can practice their leadership with oversight with leaders who know what they're doing, and gives them an opportunity to grow and stretch. And so that's just been a wonderful way that we've been able to craft and create a culture. We'll be able to love through these leaders. And when we started with the Grey Shirt Leaders program, probably most of them didn't have a faith. And we were just blown away by the parents who are so open to doing a Jesus-based leadership model. The parents were just amazed that there's just nothing out there for their young people in leadership development, and so they're quite happy to have a Jesus-modelled leadership program. And so we used every opportunity to speak Jesus into kids and understand how Jesus' way of leadership is the most effective and impacting. And so we wanted to really speak that truth into these young people's lives. And rolling forward, this is our 3rd year we've been doing the Grey Shirt Leaders program. And I was just thinking the other day, all our Grey Shirt leaders have come to faith. Most of them in the last 12 months. And that's been a beautiful journey, and because it hasn't been pushed or hasn't been rushed, it's been just a natural expression of them seeing Jesus at work through the leaders in the program and the kids in the church. And that's been just a fantastic way of guiding a culture and a program. So we've got 29 Grey Shirt leaders that can intentionally create and craft culture inside a program. And so Big Arvo, we get a Big Arvo every Friday. We get somewhere in the vicinity between 60 and 100 kids every Friday afternoon, and having 30 up to 30 Grey Shirt leaders that can create culture in that is significant. And it's part of the success story, I suppose, is that we've been able to use the kids, the high schoolers, the older kids, the Grey Shirt leaders, to be able to create and craft a beautiful culture for help the kids belong.
My heart for the future with these young people is that they continue to firstly deepen their faith, and that they continue to ask questions and explore these things. And through them being authentically them, other people will see. And so, I don't know, I think building their further connections and deepening their faith and keep questioning. And I think a word that has always stood out to me, and I know that it's a word that's been on Sam's heart this year, is the word belong. So ultimately we want people to belong, and would love them to belong here. If here is where they want to belong, but it's, a space for them to belong.
We really don't know what the future could look like, but we do want to go deeper in our faith. But we're not interested in numbers, even though the more we focus on going deeper, the numbers continue to grow. That might continue, it might not, but the heartbeat is that people would know and become disciples of Jesus and not just believers of Jesus. And I think there's a fundamental difference between a believer and a disciple. And we're really encouraging our young people to take hold of Jesus as not just an idea, but as the Lord and Saviour. So our prayers would be, as a church, that we wouldn't be distracted, we wouldn't lose focus, and as the programs continue to grow, that the size doesn't change the heart. And the heart is seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and everything else will be given unto us. And so we don't need to worry about the details when our hearts are fixed in the right direction.